Hello, everyone. I am James. Welcome again to Easy English Talks podcast. Today, we're diving deep into something a little different.
Ooh.
It's all about how to improve your English effortlessly.
Effortlessly.
Like,
I like it.
yeah, how can we make English just a natural part of our lives
Yeah.
without, feeling like we're always studying,
Exactly.
stuck in the books all the time?
Exactly. It should be fun, right?
Yeah.
Like, how can we sneak in little workouts for our English skills,
Yeah, just like
without even really realizing it?
Yeah, almost like a little hidden gym
Yeah, like a little hidden gem, exactly.
for your English.
I love that analogy.
Okay, so let's kick things off with pronunciation.
Okay.
Why is it so important?
Well, I think pronunciation is really the key to unlocking the nuances of spoken English.
Okay.
It's not just about being understood, right? It's
Yeah.
about being able to understand and
Okay.
appreciate all the subtleties and the beauty of how English is spoken. So one tool that I think is really powerful but often overlooked is the IPA.
The IPA.
Yeah, the International Phonetic Alphabet.
That sounds a little intimidating.
I know it sounds really technical, right?
Yeah.
But it's actually a secret weapon for improving your pronunciation.
Okay.
So basically, it's a system of symbols. Each symbol represents a specific sound in English.
Uh-huh.
So, for example, that tricky the sound,
Oh, yeah.
like in the word think, is represented by the symbol the th.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so by understanding these symbols, you can actually see how to position your tongue and your mouth
Okay.
to make the sound correctly.
So it's like a cheat sheet for your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a blueprint for English sounds.
Brilliant.
And what's really cool is once you learn the IPA, you can apply it to any word.
Wow.
So you can actually decode the pronunciation of even the most complicated words.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So we've got this tool now, the IPA.
Yes.
But what about actually practicing our pronunciation?
Yes.
What are some techniques that we can use?
So one technique that I find really helpful is called shadowing.
Shadowing.
Have you ever heard of that?
That sounds interesting. Tell me more.
Yeah. So basically you listen to a native speaker and you try to imitate their pronunciation in real time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you're basically their shadow, right? Echoing their every word.
So if I'm listening to a podcast,
Yes.
I would try to...
You try to speak along with them.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. You try to mimic their rhythm, their intonation, and really focus on the individual sounds that they're making.
That sounds like a really fun way to practice.
It is. It's challenging, but it's really effective because it trains your mouth to produce those sounds naturally.
Yeah, like a workout for your mouth.
Exactly, for a vocal workout.
I like that.
And another great way to practice is just to record yourself speaking
Oh, yeah.
and then compare it to a native speaker, and you'd be surprised what you might discover.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we don't even realize
Yeah.
how we sound
Exactly.
until we hear ourselves.
Yes, and then you can kind of pinpoint areas where you might need a little bit of extra practice.
That's a great tip. All right, so we've covered pronunciation. Let's move on to immersion.
Yes.
How can we create an English-rich environment?
Well, I think the key to immersion is to really surround yourself with the language as much as possible.
Okay.
Make English like a soundtrack to your day.
I like that, the soundtrack.
Yeah, so, think about podcasts and audiobooks. Those are fantastic for this.
Mhm.
You can choose topics that you're actually interested in,
Right.
so it doesn't feel like a chore.
Right.
And you can just passively absorb vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, all while you're enjoying yourself.
So you're learning without even realizing it.
Exactly, exactly. And then, of course, we can't forget about movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
Those are also amazing for immersion because you get to see the language in action.
Yeah.
You see how body language and facial expressions play a role in communication.
Oh, wow.
And you get exposed to a variety of accents and colloquialisms.
Yeah, and then reading, you can't leave that out.
Reading is so important because it exposes you to different writing styles.
Okay.
And it helps you to internalize grammar organically.
Okay.
And you encounter new words in context, which makes them much easier to remember.
So I'm hearing this variety is key.
Yes.
It's we want to make sure we're mixing it up
Exactly.
with our English content.
Mix it up. Keep it fresh and engaging. So one day you might listen to a true crime podcast.
Right?
The next day you might read a blog post about a new tech gadget.
Okay.
And then, the next day you might watch a classic movie.
Nice.
So just keep it varied, and that'll help you stay engaged with the language.
Variety is the spice of life and English learning.
Absolutely.
All right, so now let's talk about writing.
Okay.
How does writing help us boost our English skills?
So writing is really powerful because it allows you to solidify what you've learned. So that act of constructing sentences and using grammar actively reinforces those concepts in your mind.
So it's like taking it from passive
to active knowledge.
And it doesn't need to be a huge time commitment either. Like, you don't need to be writing novels every day.
Right.
But even just a few minutes of writing can make a big difference.
Tell me a little bit about this idea of micro-rating.
Yes.
I'm really intrigued by that.
So micro-rating is basically just the idea of incorporating small bursts of writing into your daily routine. So, for example, you could keep a journal and just jot down your thoughts, your experiences, or even just like summarize something that you learned in English that day.
So it's like creating our own personalized English textbook.
Exactly, your own little English world.
I like that.
And there are also some really great online tools that can help you with your writing.
Oh.
Like Grammarly, for example.
Grammarly.
Yeah, have you heard of that?
I have, but tell us a bit more about it for those who haven't.
Yeah, so Grammarly is fantastic. It's like a digital writing coach.
Okay.
It not only catches grammatical errors, but it also gives you suggestions for improving like clarity and style.
It's like having an editor.
Yeah, exactly.
In your pocket.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that can be really helpful.
Okay, so we've got writing down. What about speaking?
Yes.
How do we get that practice in?
Well, if you really want to build fluency and confidence, I think conversation is key.
Right.
Yeah, so, there are a lot of great online forums and groups where you can find people who share your interests.
Okay.
So you can practice writing and engaging in discussions all while like connecting with others.
So you can find your tribe.
Exactly. Find your tribe.
English enthusiasts.
And even if you're not quite ready for like a group setting, even just leaving comments on blog posts or videos can be a great way to practice expressing your thoughts in English.
Right.
And then, of course, if you're looking for more structured practice, a language partner can be really helpful.
A language partner.
Yeah. So that could be someone else who's learning English. Or it could be a native speaker.
Right.
And you can just like chat, practice having conversations.
And get feedback.
Yeah, get feedback, support each other.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So we've covered a lot of ground here, a lot of great tips and techniques.
We have.
How can our listeners kind of take all of this and weave it into their daily lives?
Well, I think it's all about finding ways to like sprinkle English throughout your day.
Yep.
Make it a natural part of your routine.
Okay.
So imagine this, right? You wake up in the morning, you do a quick pronunciation exercise while you're getting ready.
Okay.
On your commute, you listen to a podcast. During a break at work, you read a news article online. And then in the evening, maybe you write in your journal or chat with a language partner.
Right.
So it's really just about finding those little pockets of time and using them to your advantage.
I like that.
And the key is consistency.
Consistent.
Even small efforts over time
Yes.
can lead to significant improvement.
So we don't have to do everything all at once.
Yeah.
We can take it step by step.
Little by little.
All right. So out of everything we've talked about, what stands out to you the most as a game changer for English learners?
That's a good question. For me, I think the IPA is really powerful.
Yeah.
Like, it really demystifies pronunciation.
It does.
And it gives you that framework for understanding how sounds are produced.
Yeah.
So I think that can be really transformative for people.
I'm all about that immersive approach.
Yes.
The podcasts, the audiobooks, the movies. It just makes learning so effortless and engaging.
It does, and whatever method resonates with you the most.
Yeah.
Just remember that language learning is a marathon, not a sprint.
Absolutely. Consistency is key. And you know what? Learning a language should be enjoyable.
Yeah.
It shouldn't feel like a chore.
Absolutely.
So find what sparks your interest and dive in.
Yeah, experiment. Find what works best for you.
Great advice. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive into effortless English improvement. I hope you found these tips and techniques helpful.
I did too.
What about you out there listening? Which habit are you most excited to try? Don't forget to subscribe, share the video with your friends. See you next time. Bye-bye.